question. Bismillah. My name is Mousa Taher. I was born in Wellington Hospital and grew up in Tawa and went to Tawa College. Said mum's from Hastings and my dad's from Palestine. So yeah, there's a different mix there. And grew up like most others here. You know, like I said, rugby on Saturdays and just playing up in the street, all that sort of stuff, normal until I went to college. Things changed for me a little bit. Got, you know, into the wrong crowd, as they call it. And so started abusing the drugs, alcohol, hanging out with the boys, staying out for weekends on end, not respecting anybody really, just doing what I wanted to do on my own terms. Basically, our principle was just live it, you know, just live life as much as you can. We didn't have respect for anybody else. We used to, you know, always in trouble with the police. Used to come around to my house all the time, you know, and us the boys, you know, would get in trouble, go out, burglaries, stealing cars, a lot of other things that we won't mention, but that was just life for us. That's all we knew. That's all we wanted to do, you know. Nothing else for us there. Didn't have anything else, any better way. And we felt like, okay, we'll just get on with it. And so that's what we kept doing that sort of stuff until finally I got kicked out of home, like the third time. And this time I said, okay, I'm going to go find a place. Went, first place I could find, went, lived there, and then things went downhill for me. Broke up with my missus, was far away from all the boys, so I couldn't, you know, see them on the regular. So I had a bit of time to reflect, and I said, what's the point? What was I doing? Where was I going, you know? Must have been something better, surely. And I always sort of believed in a creator. There must have been. I looked around me and I just knew. But I was angry with him. What's going on in this? I said, look what's happening in the world and my life and all this pain and suffering. I had a lot of questions, you know. So I thought, all right, better start looking for something. Otherwise the other options weren't looking very good for me, you know. So I went to my dad, because I knew he was a Muslim. I knew that he believed in God. And I started attacking his religion. If God's real, why do you people do this? You're all crazy. So all I knew about him, you know. It's all I knew about the religion. And then he started giving me some answers to these questions that the last place I expected them to come was just the last place. I started going, what? You believe in God? Huh? You believe in one God? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, you believe in prophets? You believe in Abraham? You believe in Moses? And then I found out my name in English actually means Moses. And you believe in Jesus, the son of Mary? Oh, you people believe in justice? All these sorts of things. I said, okay, but I wasn't going to take his word for it, you know, by himself. So I had to do some extra research. And so I was shocked, you know. I was like, okay, maybe there is a real religion. That's when it started to become a possibility that maybe there was something for me there. So I went to went to the library to look for some books, and I couldn't find anything. There was Islamic art, there was Islamic, you know, all these other things, but there was nothing about what did Islam mean. So I left the library, a bit disheartened, and there was a man sitting to my right. He was sitting down, and I looked at him a little bit strangely. And he looked at me, and then I kept walking, and thanks God, he stood up and he goes, excuse me, can you just give me a minute of your time? I said, oh, sorry, bro, I'm going to the gym. I got no time, you know. He said, just a little bit of time. So we went and sat down, and he was actually giving out Islamic sort of materials, pamphlets and stuff like that. Started asking him some questions, and he said, Assalamu alaikum. I said, I knew wa alaikum salam by then. I knew that. I said, I'm thinking about Islam, but, you know, I got so many questions. And he said, about God and why we're created and all these sorts of things. He said, go to the mosque. And actually, I had looked for the mosque before. I'd been around, I saw this, like my dad said, oh, it's somewhere in Kilburn, it's close to my house. So I knew where his house was. I was looking around, because of course I grew up in a single parent family. I lived with my mum since about 3 years of age, me and my sister. I went to the Indian temple, looked inside, I saw all these statues and stuff. It's not this place. Went somewhere else, looked, you know, looking for this building, and I couldn't find it. So when he told me where it was, I mean, it was amazing. The house that I had moved into was just a minute's walk from the mosque, and there's only one in the whole of Wellington. So started going for Isha, which was the last, one of the prayers, one of the daily ritual prayers that Muslims offer to their Creator. I started sitting down and watching them, and I kept coming, and then one time they told me to join in, I did, and then I started to do some more research, and then finally I just said, wow. There came a point where I said to God, because I didn't want to invest my life, and just to find out after I die, oh, sorry, you made the wrong choice. I mean, you've lost, I didn't want to take that risk because I had a lot of other things I thought I wanted to do. So anyway, I asked God, I said, God, if you're there, and if you really have a religion that's true, 100%, and I don't want 98%, nothing, I want 100% truth, undeniable, uncategorically correct. And I asked God, I said, show it to me, and then He did. And so when I started to read about the miracles of the Book of God, the Quran, and these sorts of things, and I said to the Imam, okay, how do I become Muslim? And he said, all you have to say is that you believe that there's only one God who's worthy of worship and none others, and that Muhammad is his final messenger, peace and blessings of God be upon him. And then he started to tell me some other things of what a Muslim does. He said, oh, you need to, after you use the toilet, you need to use water to clean yourself. I said, what? What are you guys, what's this? This is strange. I said, you sure? And then he said that everything I asked, every question, there was an answer for it. So if you fall in a puddle of mud, you don't get paper and wipe it all over yourself. You have a shower, use water to clean. So do we. So as I kept going on and on, I kept realizing that there was a perfect answer for every question I had. And thanks God, it's been all uphill since then. The thing that attracted me about Islam was that it was just quite simply, undeniably the truth. I mean, I was trying to poke holes in it. I was trying to look for a reason to say that I hadn't found it so I could continue doing what I was doing, But I was in a position where I had time to think, didn't have all the distractions around me, and that was important. That's what I needed. And so I realized when I looked at it, and you saw that this was from God, it was clear. The message was from God, the proofs were from God, everything pointed to that fact. It was a simple decision. When I became Muslim, when I found the truth, I was so hungry for it. When I found it, it was all on, I wanted to do whatever I had to please the Creator that I just recognized, So, but like everybody was supportive, especially my dad, and giving up the habits wasn't as difficult as swearing was a bit difficult. Because even though you don't swear out loud, even in your brain, in your thinking patterns, I was swearing, I was like, oh, it's ingrained so much. But eventually it worked out and the community was good, and like I said, I just didn't know that it was so complete, so yeah. Well, Islam is a solution for every problem. Simple as that. If you submit, which Islam just means to submit to God on His terms, and to obey God, and then to be peaceful. So everybody searches for that peace in their own way. Some fill it with, as I did, living a lifestyle, of drugs, of alcohol, women and music. Worked for a while, but it was never filling that, It was just a distraction. Some others do it different ways, but Islam is a way of life that's designed from God for us. So of course it's going to fill all the gaps that are there, And so what it will offer is we say, Aslam Taslam, If you submit to God, then you'll be peaceful. You'll have that inner peace. And I've done a lot of stuff, but nothing came close to this, No downs. It's or you feel, you're feeling good all the time, and you just feel peaceful with your Creator. I was prepared to accept anything that was truth. That was a condition. I had to be, I had to have a guarantee that it was going to be reliably, from God. Because I believed that there was a Creator. There had to have been. Everything pointed to that fact. But which way do you go? There's so many. That's where it branches off to so many different options. And so I looked at them, and like I said, I had an open mind. I was prepared. The last thing I wanted to do was follow my dad, and it was the last option. But when I started getting the answers to my questions, it was the only one that could answer the questions. I go to some people, it's just like it. It's just like this. It's just like that. You just have to believe. Some of them seemed abstract or whatever, but this was the only place I was getting answers. I haven't found it to be a challenge to be a Kiwi Muslim. If anything, it's made me a better Kiwi. It was before I was destructive to this society, you know. I was a danger. No one was safe from me, you know. My family, everybody. But afterwards now, you know, we help old ladies across the street. We're doing things that would never... People, my friends say, "What? This is not the same guy," you know. They know it's me, but they just say, "What's this change that's come along?" Yeah. So I see basically becoming a Muslim has only made me a better Kiwi, better person.